Yeah. So FSG is nothing but financial statement generator, and the purpose of using this particular functionality is that, let's say I want to create or generate profit and loss account in my own format, so I can create it. So how this particular report will differ from a standard report is that the stand for in case of standard report we will need technical person's assistance, because we will have to write query and the other things. But whereas here in the FSG, we will not need the technical person's assistance, since this can be handled only in the front end. The front end in the sense application. Okay. So I'll just take through this one. So basically here, if you see the navigation for FSG is that we have the GL module, and under this we have reports. So under reports, we have define. So there are two, three things inside this FSG. Basically, we have a row set, column set, and then we have reports. Okay. So these are the main components. So we have defined a few row sets and column sets. So I'll just create a new one. Okay. So this is our row set basically. So as I said, we have three components to it. So one is row set, column set, and report. So first part of it is row set. So in row set, basically I have defined a name that is for balance sheet. And once I'm done with this, what I'll do is that I'll define row, because that is when I'll give the actual configuration. Okay. So here I'm giving the line. So line, it is not necessary to have always 10 or something like that. So any number I can give. So I can start even with one, or I can start with two. So this is based on the business requirement. So if I want to start with 100, I can start with 100 also. Okay. So for my convenience, I have given this as 10. Okay. And the line description I have given as balance sheet. Okay. So this will be my heading. So that is the reason you can see in the lines, that is advanced option. I did not give anything. Okay. Only I have given as display row, which means I want to display this particular option. Okay. And then we have indent. So indent is nothing but how much right or left we wanted to get. So I have given this as 60. So probably once we run the report, we will understand what is indent. So for now, it is like the spacing and the other things. Okay. So where exactly we want to place this particular record, or the heading which we wanted to see. So that is intent. Okay. And then we have a line to skip. So whether we want to skip this before, skip in the sense it will leave some space, and it will give space, and it will get the other row or before row. So that is depending on the selection that we are giving, that is before or after. So here also again we can say one, two, or three, any number. So here I have given one as a standard one. Okay. And then underline option. So it is like underline. Let's say I want to have underlined, so I can give it. So either before or after. So if we give after, it will be a kind of an underline. So if it is before, it will come as top of it. Okay. So mostly we will use after for the totals. Okay. And then we have the page breaks. So page break will be used wherein we have kind of an, what do you call, I want to divide into two parts. So let's say I have two different office. So one branch is the T Nagar, and the other branch is Nandana. So now I don't want to see the consolidated balance sheet. So I wanted to see by office. Let's say T Nagar will have a different balance sheet, and Nandanam will have different balance sheet. So in this case, what I will do is that I'll give a page break. So this could be before or after. Most of the case, it will be after. Okay. So now the second line that I have added is assets. So here it is kind of a collection of records. I'm just adding it, which means if you see here, I have given balance sheet. So under balance sheet, I have given asset. So under asset, I have given multiple components to it. That is fixed asset, current asset, and the other things. Okay. So to start with, so what I'll do is that I'll take this one. So I have given asset basically. So for the asset, I have two things. So one is account assignment and the other one is calculation. So when I will use this calculation part is that when I want to total or have the summation of something. So that is when I will use the total. So how I will use total is that using this operator. So we have multiple operators to it. It's not because it is not only for the purpose of profit and loss and the balance sheet. So whatever report we want to pull in, let's say I want to pull in the average record or average earnings that is made out of a particular office. So I can take it provided I have the segment and the other details captured. Okay. So the details are there, and if I want to capture, I can give average. So I will just select the value. So let me select it, and I'll select range. So from which one to which one I want to see this as an average. So those details I can give it here. Okay. So there are multiple what do you call the calculations. So most commonly used is addition, subtraction, and this kind of things, multiplication, these things. Okay, but we have other options as well. And constant is something that we don't want to use this options, but we will use the constant value. Okay. So let's say I don't want to derive from, so here if you see low and high is something that based on my definition, I'll pick the values. Okay. But whereas constant, if you see, so this I will not see it from the value, but instead whatever I'm giving it here, it is going to display in the report. It is just, I want to see this particular record every time whenever I run this report. Okay. And then we have row name. Okay. So if I want to, okay, I did not define row name, I think, so that's why I'm not getting it. Okay, so probably if we define a row name, we will get it. So most commonly used approach is that to use the low and high sequence to aggregate the values or to sum the values. Okay. Any doubt on this? Or we can move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the second part to this is that account assignment. So account assignment is nothing but the range of accounts that we will be using. So when we say account assignment, this is nothing but our chart of account combination. So if you remember in our last session, while we are creating the ledger, we saw that chart of account definition. That is, we had company segment and we had department segment and we had account segment. So this combination will be used here. Okay. So again, here I have two things. So one is that I can use the ledger or I can use the ledger set. So ledger is nothing but one single ledger, whereas ledger set is combination of ledgers. I can use two or three plus ledgers also inside one ledger set. So which I can attach it here. So the reason why I will use that particular functionality is that I can consolidate the report provided my chart of accounts and the calendar and the other things are same. So I can create the ledger set and I can make use of it and consolidate the financial statements. Okay. So if I don't have any requirement to consolidate the financial statement, what I will do is that I'll directly give the ledger name. Okay. Since I have taken different, so you can see here the responsibility we have logged in is general ledger vision. So we will have a different what do you call chart of account structure. If you remember, we created only company, department, and account. Sub account and product was added for different chart of account. Okay. So when we log in with our this thing, we will see only the ledger, company, department, and account. So based on our structure, basically system will display all those values. So whichever value we want to give, so there are different this thing. So if at all I want to give the range of account, I can give from this particular range to high. So low is from and high is 2. Okay, so this way I can give, or let's say I want to see only one particular company, so I can give from low to high same value. So accordingly I can give. And account code also. So here, so when we added value, we gave the value starting from 4,000 or 2,000. So the reason why we gave there as an with specific sequence is that we can utilize that value here in the FSG. So that is the main reason we used that particular combination. Okay. Uh, yeah. So the same thing. So we will say like 1,000 to 1,500. So this account will fall under assets. Okay. I'm saying just for example, it's not mandatory that we should follow this particular sequence. So as a general practice, it is followed. Okay. Okay. And then we have few other options as well here. So we have amount type. So amount type we have actual, and then we have budget, and we have PTD, and then we have YTD, and then we have encumbrance. All those options are there. So based on our requirement, we can take. So most commonly used is actual, that is balance actual FY start. Okay. So similarly, we have different things like QTD, YTD, PTD, all those options are there. So based on our need, we can select either one of the option. Okay, and currency, let's say I want to show this report in different currency. So I can select the currency appropriately. Okay, and then we have control value. So whether we want to set a control value. So control value in the sense that we will have some sort of limit to it. So that limit that we can set it up here in the control value. Okay, and then we have offset. So whether we want to have this knockoff or the offset option, so that we can give it here. Okay, and then we have override column calculation. So basically the column values, whatever we will be entering after this particular configuration, row sets. So we'll be giving the column configurations. So there we might add few calculations also. So if at all I want to can't override that particular option, so I can give here. So which means this column calculation which we will be giving, so it will be overridden only for this particular line item called asset. Okay. So here I can give the row name, and I can attach the person to it, and if at all I have any custom development to it, I can attach the HTML element also. Okay, and then we have a display option. So whether we want to give the format mask. So if format mask in the sense like the entire values will not be shown, instead it will be masked. Okay, so that is also available. Okay, and then we have a factor. So factor is nothing but how do we want to factor our values that is being displayed. Okay, so that is what. And then we have this one, level of detail. So at what level basically we wanted to have these details. So whether we wanted to display to at the level of financial analyst or supervisor or controller. So we can select either one of it. So these are like optional values. We don't need to select any of this. So if you see here, so this is not balanced this thing. So whatever we have it in yellow, so this is mandatory. So whatever we have it in white, this is optional. Okay. And then we have display row. Yeah, this we know. And we have display zero. So let's say there are few values which is in zero. So by default, what system will show is that the null value. It will say null. But I don't want to see the null value. Instead, I want to see the zero. So if I enable this option, basically it will show the zero values also. Okay. And then we have change signs. So change signs are used for the credit or debit. So debit will be in positive and credit will be negative. So whether we want to change this sign. So that's what we wanted to give here. And on the variance, whether we want to change signs. So that also we can enable it here. Okay. So these are the options that we have. So similarly, we will give for all the accounts. So for the current account, so this is the option that I have given. So the what do you call the POC ledger that I have created is MR1 test. So here I have given the accounts. You can see here. So I have given from 1300 to 1400. Okay, which means these are the accounts that I'm using for my current asset. So basically, system will pick these accounts, and I have given here sign as plus. So which means, let's say in this particular 100 accounts, let's say there are 10 accounts which has transaction. So each is like 100 rupees. So this will accumulate all those values and it will say 1000 for in my balance sheet for this particular what do you call for this particular record, that is current asset. Okay. So okay, so similarly, I have given it. So now we have this total assets. So I wanted to calculate this total asset. So as I said, I have used the common one, that is to use the particular what do you call the low to high. That is from 30 to 40 will be my addition column, wherein I will need to calculate the aggregation or the summation of the value. So based on that, system will say that. So I'll show here. Okay. So here we know that these two are our heading, that is balance sheet. So under balance sheet we have asset and liabilities, and under asset I have different components, that is fixed asset and current assets. So I want to calculate or I want to sum this particular two values, that is 30 and 40. So that is the reason I have given here as 30 and 40. Okay. So similarly, the same step will be followed for liabilities as well. So I'll give the specified account and I'll give the calculation. That is for the total, I'll give the calculation. Yeah, yeah, you can see that ours is liability. So the asset part calculation we have done already. So the calculation that we will be doing it for our this thing liability part. So it will be from 70 to 90. That is long term, short term, and owner's equity. Okay. Yeah, that's it. We have on the row configuration. Any doubt in this, or we'll move on? Okay. So this is our balance sheet column that we defined. So basically here we have two things. So one is that defining the column, and other one is to build the column. Okay, so first I'll show defining the column. So this is not much complicated. So this is simple. Like we have the same thing. So we have the position and sequence. So let's say I want to have two values. So I'll say sequence 10 and sequence 20. So in case I want to have only one, so I'll say only sequence 10. Okay. So similar to the row set, we have the format mask also. So this will be our format mask. Okay. And then factor, let's say I want to use million or something, I'll use it. Since this is Indian company, so I'll not use this option. So I'll just leave this open. Okay. And then we have amount type. So as like rows, I have taken the same thing here as well. That is balance actual. Okay. And yeah, and then we have the same options that we have here as well. That is currency, control value, and offset. Same thing. Okay. And then under advanced option, basically we have the column name. And let's say I want to give any description, I can add the description as well. Okay. And percent, if I want to give any percent, so that I can give it here. And here I have this one again, override row calculation. So if you remember, we had there the override column calculation. So whichever option I'm selecting, let's say I'm selecting this particular option, override row calculation. So which means it is going to override all the rows. But if I have given override column for any particular row, so it is going to override this column calculation only for that particular row. So others will follow this column calculation. Okay, so that is the functionality of override row calculation. Okay, and then we have display options. So display options are again the same thing, like at what level we want to display this particular report. So that is at financial analyst, supervisor, or controller. So this is not mandatory. So this is optional value. And similar to that rows configuration, we have enabled display column and display zero. Okay. And similarly here also we have this option to give the account assignment and the calculation this thing. So according to the requirement, we can give the calculation and account assignment. Since we have given the calculation and account assignment at row level itself, so I'm just giving the display options alone. I'm not giving any calculation or account assignment here. Okay. Yeah, so the first step is done, and the second step is that to build the column set. Okay, so this is what basically I'll have as a part of it. So this is how it will look like. So based on the initial setup or the column first step, so this will be based on the configuration. Okay. So here we can see that we have given two columns, that is 10 and 20. So one is for the previous year and the other is for the current year. Okay. And yeah, so these are like kind of an what do you call the heading for our column. So that is YTD for previous year and YTD for the current year. And this one we will select whether we want to take actual budget or whichever option we want to take, we can take. So here in this case, I have taken here actual and here I have taken YTD. Okay. And then we have left margin. So whether we want to have margin 50 or 20, anywhere we can have it. So 50 will look something like this. So here we can see, so this has come till 50. So this is how it will look like. Okay. And then these are like headings. So I'm giving heading as previous year balance and current year balance. Okay. And the format mask I'm using the same format, that is 999. Okay. So, so this is what it is, what we created. So let's say I don't want to use this particular this thing to give it manually, or I'm not sure how to give it. So what I will do is that I'll do create default heading. So system will generate automatically. So we don't need to give all those things. Only thing we will have to give is that the sequence and this one. So others like the heading and the other things will be generated by the system once we click this create default heading. Okay. Yeah. So with this, we are good with what do you call this one? So the next option, what we'll be having is that to define the report. Okay. So let me take the balance. Okay, so basically, what we have done is that we have given a naming convention for the balance sheet, and then we have attached the row set, column set, and those things. And okay, here we have other options as well. So let's say I want to override any particular segment, so that I can enable it here or give it here. So which segment I want to override? Okay, and then the currency part we have same thing and rounding option. So rounding option is used for the precision limit. Like we have 2 point, let's say 458. So in this case, I don't want to have three characters after precision. I mean after that. So I'll say the round off, calculate the round off, which means system is going to round off it to 2 or the nearest value it will round off. Okay. And the level of detail, the same option. So since this is optional, I'm just leaving this as it is. And then we have the option to view our report. So whether we want it in text or we want in spreadsheet or XML. So accordingly, we can select the option. So I'm just choosing the standard option, that is text. Okay. And then we have certain optional components. Okay, so content set is something that it's again used for the purpose of override and the other things. So it will help in terms of overriding this particular options, whatever we have given. So after creating that, we will attach it here. Okay, yeah. So that's about it. So let's say similarly, I have so let's say I have a requirement that wherein I'll combine multiple reports and I'll run this as a single report. uh, let's say I'll say financial statement. So under financial statement, I'll need let's say income statement prior and income statement current and income statement projected. So I'll create different reports and I will define it here. I'll say define report set. And under report set, I'll just give the naming convention and I will attach the report whatever I have created. Okay. So that's what. So let me take this one. Okay. So the next step is to run a report. So I'll click run report. So we will have a screen something like this. So what this will do is that this will auto-populate the values. So the report name we gave in the last step and the ledger name and all those things were captured based on the values that we have inputted. So if you remember, so while we are creating the row set, we gave the ledger name and segment and all those details. So from there, basically it will pick and it will auto-populate. So let's say I have two different ledger. I don't want to run it for this one ledger. So I'll select different ledger or ledger set. Accordingly, I can select this. Okay. And then period. So period again it will populate the latest open period automatically. So let's say I want to change it, so I can change it provided the period is open. Okay. And the date is again the date when it will be run. So that's what. And currency. That's what. So these are the options that I'm giving. So these are the mandatory one. So I'll just say submit. So this will trigger a concurrent program. So I'll go to view and here's request. Give me a minute. Okay. Yeah. So now it is showing. Okay. You can see this report, right?
How to see this? How to go in this report?
Sorry, can you repeat again? Your voice is little low actually.
Yeah, how to report open? How to open this report?
Okay, open the report is that so basically we have this one. Give me a minute, let me navigate here. So here, if you see, so we have so Okay, let me come from there. So we created a defined report, and after defining the report, basically we clicked on run report. So after we give run report, what we did is that we submitted. So after we submit this particular report, system what it will do is that it will create a concurrent program with the request ID. So probably we can copy this request ID and we can go to view request, and here we can find with our request ID. So I'll give specific and I'll say, okay, I did not copy. Give me a minute. Okay, view request, and here specific request, and we will give the request ID. Okay, so here what I will click is I'll click view output. The moment I click view output, so this will open a separate page here. Okay, so this is the steps involved to open this particular output. Yeah, fine. Okay. So what we gave is that the asset, current asset, and the other things. So these are the things that we gave basically. So we gave heading as asset, and we gave current assets. So under current assets, we gave different options like what do you call the below. We gave a few accounts to it. Okay, and then we gave the calculation. Okay. Similarly, we gave our what do you call the liabilities as well, and based on that, system will calculate and derive those values. Okay, and net income for current year, we gave this one what do you call the calculation here at the total. So total is like 57. It's showing 57,000. Okay. So this is a simple report. So based on this, probably we can explore more options. Like we have average, we have other few summation options as well. So based on the requirement, we can basically define multiple reports to it. And but the process is same. So whatever we have seen. Okay. Any doubt till now? Okay. So we'll move on. Okay. So that is what about FSG. So trial balance we ran on the other day. We did not check on this account analysis. So probably we'll complete that one today. So when we say account analysis, we are trying to identify the balances for one particular account. So it could be either only the balances or it could be the transaction also. Okay. So if I want to check the balance or see the transaction. So I have two ways to do it. So first thing I'll show it in the report, then I'll show in the form how to do it. Okay. So I'll go to view request, and then here I'll submit a new request. So what I'll take is that account analysis. So we have 132 or 180 characters. So either one we can take it. So it's only about the character difference. Okay, so here again we have ledger or ledger set. So I'm selecting the ledger and the currency and the currency total. I mean currency type we are giving as total. Okay, so then I have type. So type is what? Basically, I'll give whether it is a line item or this is a source item. So based on that, I can give. So for now, I'm just giving source item. And balance type I'll give action because that is what we selected. And budget or encumbrance we did not enable for this particular ledger, so we are not seeing it. So ledger after completing these parts we will see the budgets. Okay, so that's why it's not available. And then we have the starting period, so from when to when I want to take this particular report. So what I'll do is that I'll give from April 21 to May 21. I'm not sure if transactions are there. Let's check. So basically, since it is a report, we are giving all these values. So it's mandatory in report. But in farm, we will not have this much work to do actually. That will be easier. Okay, so we have selected this one as well. So how do we order or how do we want to be sequenced? So whether I want to give it by source or balancing segment or this thing. So I'll give it by source and I'll say okay. Okay, so this is done. So I'll click view output. Okay. So if you remember in our this one what we call trial balance basically. So the account which we saw is one particular account. So for that particular account, we saw only the balance. That is only one record will be there. But whereas in the transaction, it is not that only one record. We will have multiple records. Okay. So since we gave this as an source based this thing, so we have multiple breakups here. Okay. So at the end, basically, we will have the total. So what is the debit and credit? So this will match with our this thing what we call trial balance debit and credit. Okay. So here we have multiple sources. So that is from receivables, payable, and the other source will come in. And we will have the journal names if at all I want to verify. So the purpose of having this report or when I will run this report is that when I have reconciliation issue. So that is when basically I'll run this report and check that whether this is matching or not. If it is matching, so let's say it's not matching. So I'll try to identify which record is not available. So what I'll do is that I'll take all this transaction that has happened and I will aggregate it and I'll match it with my trial balance. So if at all something is missing, so that is when I'll identify, okay, there are some transactions that did not come into GL. Okay. Yeah, so that's what. In short, account analysis is to analyze any particular one account or multiple range of accounts. So that is the purpose of this particular report. Okay. Any doubt in this? Okay, we'll move on. Okay, so this is one option to check our account level transaction, and the other option is here in the inquiry. So in inquiry, we have account. So here we will give the period. I mean, we will select the ledger and then we will give the period. So I'll give April to May. Okay, and then I'll give the accounts. Okay. So for cash account, these are the combinations basically that I have. Combination in the sense we have different departments that has took place. So that is 001, 01012, different departments. So it is based on the combination. So I'll pick the first combination. So here I have two options. So either I can select show balance or I can take show journal details. So I'll say show balance. So here if you see PTD is 0. That is for the month of April, we do not have anything. But whereas YTD we have 100 because it might have happened in the month of probably February or March. Okay, so that is why it is showing in the YTD. So basically YTD is nothing but for an particular year. So let's say I'm in the year 2021. So 21 May. So let's say some transaction happened in March month. So I'll see this particular transaction here. Okay. So that's what. And only for the May month we have PTD. So it will accumulate and it will say added value is 100 plus 100 is 200. Okay. So now if I want to understand, let's say I couldn't find this in the journal entry page. So the journal is not available, but the balance is still showing as 0. So to identify the exact journal entry, what I'll do is that I'll click this particular line and I'll say journal details. So here I can get the journal batch and journal entry name. And I'll just copy this journal entry name or the batch name and I'll go back to that and I can check that. Or probably if I want to see from here, so I'll say show full journal. Okay. So this will navigate us to the actual journal page. So this is the journal entry that we created. So which has created one transaction in our account analysis. Okay. So that is what about account inquiry. Any doubt in this? Okay, we'll move on. Okay, so the next thing what we will see is that we'll see budgets.
The next topic, what's you want?
Budgets. Hello.
Uh,
Yeah, yes, still.
Sorry, you can start the budget topic.
Yeah, we can start. I mean, if you want to continue tomorrow,
Yeah.
yeah, fine, no problem. We'll continue tomorrow.
Today is enough for.
Yeah, actually, I planned a budget. Yeah, maybe we will stop for tomorrow. Probably we will connect. I will start the budgets tomorrow.
And my question to us, sir, today I have to get the financial report and account analysis. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, how can we study once again for this topic? EBS financial report and account analysis. Yes.
How can we run this analysis report you're asking? Hello.
Yes, sir. No, sir. How to practice for EPSG financial account and account analysis?
Yeah, you can practice in the instance. I mean, that is working for you, or still you have issue with opening.
Yeah.
You are able to open, or still you have issue.
No, sir. Tomorrow you have fixed the budget. Today you have to complete for EPSG financial report and account analysis. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Today, tomorrow, and tomorrow's class start time.
tomorrow the same time we'll start by 7:30.
Yeah. Sir. Okay.
Okay. Okay, fine. Then I'll meet tomorrow. Yeah, thanks.